What's going on, hockey world? It is your girl Beth here from Let's Talk Low Hockey, joined as always by my dude, Zach. Third episode in a row, pointing in the right direction. I think I finally got this figured out.
Yes, I am. You know what? Just golf claps all around. I'm so proud of you. Eventually, we get there, and we're finally there. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
That is absolutely right. You know, we are super excited to bring you this episode brought to you by Shocked Hydrate and In the Clutch Apparel. We also have a special guest, and I am so stoked to bring him on. We can't wait any longer. Are you ready, Zach?
Oh, I am ready. We are doing champion mode on this episode, so I'm excited to talk some tournaments and some trophies. So let's bring our guest on and have some fun.
Let's do that. So, well, Hawks, let's welcome to the pod Mr. Matt Parker. He is the coach at LSSU. They are a Division II ACHA team, and we are super happy to have you, Matt. How are you doing today?
Hey, guys. How's it going? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. It's our pleasure to have you on. We're really excited to talk about some college women's hockey championship action here. So let's get started with a little bit about you first. Tell us your story. Where did you start coaching? What brought you to LSSU?
So I was born and raised here in the Sioux. This will be this coming fall. So fall of 22, this will be my 19th season coaching. I got into it pretty quickly right out of high school. I had a short stint of junior hockey, if you could say that. I came home and just wanted to get into coaching, helped out with a couple of buddies. I'm a goalie, been a goalie my whole life. So got into it at first from just kind of being an assistant coach, goalie coach. Really kind of took off from there. There wasn't much good youth hockey coaches at the 18U level. It's always a tough level to coach, and got into that and did that for a number of years. Moved and had a junior A team that operated for a period of time, and then got out of that and went to Lake State in 2015 with men's ACHA hockey. Back then, ACHA, even 6-7 years ago, ACHA was not close to what it is today. I couldn't really get a big support group going, and I went back to coaching hockey myself, and a couple of friends at the university kept on about what they were going to do. And long story short, Lake State jumped in the boat with kind of everybody else in the state of Michigan with women's ACHA hockey, and I got lucky enough to get an interview position for the job and get hired, and started June of 2020, and then it was a ride, as you know, everybody knows how COVID.
Yeah.
So we got hired June of 2020. School started August 2020. We were hopeful that first semester getting in there. COVID hit. We didn't get a game in first semester. Second semester, things went well, and we got games in. Didn't get a single game in, didn't get a single win in that second semester, and kind of lit my fire for what went on this year. Got lucky with the way that things went this year. Oh, what are you doing?
It looks like you got a fort getting built back there.
First, the coach went talking. I have two daughters. They've grown accustomed to dad doing things like this, and generally put on a good show. But yeah, so it's been fun. Just went out and recruited that whole last year. Got lucky, got girls from all over Western Canada, the U.S., a lot of girls from our area here, because we have Sioux, Michigan, and then just right across the river, Sioux, Ontario. We have a pretty good core of girls from all over continental U.S., really.
That's really awesome. I mean, I know I was looking at kind of your elite prospects page, and I was like looking at the Sioux Firebirds rosters, and I was like, oh, look, they get both the Sioux. They've got Ontario and Michigan going on.
Yeah. I mean, being born and raised here, I've always wanted to show kids that, especially on the men's at least, where they'd have to move hours and hours home for junior hockey. You know, and the women's good college hockey women's programs are way harder to find than probably most. So being able to show some of our local girls that they would be able to stay home and play good competitive hockey and get an education was definitely a benefit, and something that I strive for, to have a good variety of players, and then both local and abroad, and get a good mixture.
No, absolutely. I mean, I know you were talking about the June 2020 hiring and then not really bringing in any wins that first season. What kind of changed in the off season that flipped that switch and you were like, you know what, we're going to go in here and we're going to have some wins. We're going to take it all home.
I honestly, I told all the girls all year, the girls that came and committed and made that commitment to me that we were going to build, and this coming season that we just had would be different. We were going to have a different squad. We were going to have new girls in. I brought in, oh Lord, about 17 of that first year, and then I brought in another 20 players last year. Everybody really going in knew that I had a good core of people. We just didn't, that first year, COVID, it was just, I mean, it was tough for everybody. Mm-hmm. It was really hard for us. And one of the big things that I told all those girls, and we told all the girls that it would be different. Like, trust the process. I know it's such a cliche saying, but trust the process. Trust that it'll happen. We just needed to continue to do the right things the right way. Busted my rear end recruiting myself and our assistant coach, who's the men's head coach, and recruiting all summer. And looking for the right people, quality of character is something that we live by pretty much up here. Being born and raised here in the Sioux, my family's out of local Ace Hardware here for years. I grew up playing hockey here, went to Lake State. So getting good quality people is probably one of the more important things that I strive for. And I think that's easy. Good hockey players out of that, because when you can push them to their limits, and that's one of the things that I tell a lot of my girls that, again, like, I dislike it because it's so cliche, but get used to being uncomfortable up here, because as long as you're comfortable with the campus and the process and the school and what you're going to school for, the hockey will come easy, because that's really where we go hard. So getting good quality people, I think, is what changed it for me. I'm a firm believer on that. You're going to get some bad bounces. You're going to have some really tough days. You're going to have some tough losses. You're going to get punched in the mouth by BC and chew on that one for a while. And you got to have good quality people and understand that life's going to be difficult, and you got to keep pushing. And that was this group of girls this year that I recruited and put together, just happened to be that group of girls. I go into Western Canada a lot because I think they're kind of blue collar people, and they really, that Edmonton area is still, you get some kids that grow up with families working in the oil fields, and it's a pretty quality way of life that you need to learn how to appreciate. And just got lucky with that good mix of players for this year, and it worked out for a lot of the season.
Yeah, I'm super happy to hear. I grew up with the phrase "get comfortable being uncomfortable." That was something that my mom and my dad both kind of instilled in me, that being uncomfortable leaves room for growth. So I'm glad to see that is still something that continues to be used.
Absolutely. I love it. And it's what you said. And I never thought about it until really, like, you got to get uncomfortable to learn and to be able to figure out the game and figure out the way of life. Cause it's, I think probably the biggest thing that I've learned in short order on girls hockey is the transition for them into women's college hockey. I think is more difficult in the sense that a lot of these girls are coming from teams that only have 16 or 17 people rosters. And then, as you can, and I had a 28 person roster. Yeah. And you got to work for your ice time. And it's a tough transition for, got a solid group of freshmen this year.
Well, I'm looking for, we love repeat championships. I mean, as much as it hurt Zach and I's heart that the Whale did not win the PHF championship, they didn't take home the Isabel Cup, seeing Boston celebrate a back-to-back championship was next level. So, I mean, we respect a back-to-back championship for sure.
Yeah, I hope so. It would be fun. It was definitely not planned. I hit a point in the season as a coach where you're kind of like, all right, this ball's rolling in the right way. Like, and it's kind of, a coach long enough where you just start to feel it. And I got probably mid-semester, mid-year, and these girls were just buzzing, and they were working hard, and the pucks were bouncing our way. And I looked at the guy that's the men's head coach, is one of my best friends. And I was like, man, we really might be on something. And then that first ranking came out through ACHA, and we were in first in the region, which was obviously awesome. And then when we got to the point where the ranking came out and we were first in the country, I think a lot of these girls, where they're finally able to see the fruits of their labors, I think really paid off. I'm generally not one that shows my group the standings or cares, and it's still not something I necessarily care about, but I think it's important for young women to be able to see what they're achieving and know that, be proud that you are currently the number one team in the country and you are currently the number one team in the league. You can respectfully be happy about what you're doing, in the sense of, I think a lot of times young women don't get the validation or be able to legitimately see in real time their efforts paying off. So I think that was a big thing that I did with this group that really kind of helped out, where I made it obvious. I let those girls know and rejoice in the fact that they were the number one team and their efforts had paid off, but understand we obviously still had a lot of work to do. And that was getting to the playoffs and getting down to the CCWHA and knowing that, you know, we kind of broke our season up into quarters, and, you know, you go through the semester, second semester, playoffs, and then hopefully nationals, and knowing that the playoffs themselves are just, that's a whole nother ball game. I mean, it was a world of games. It was completely different the season, and to go out there and win it and beat Sioux College. I mean, for me, being a homegrown kid for Sioux, Ontario, and being able to beat Sioux College, a team from across the river, it's that typical, like, you know, you drive 6 hours, tournament championships, a game from your hometown or whatever. But it still felt good because that's always been a classic battle with, you know, Sioux, Michigan and Sioux, Ontario. So it was, I would have liked to be, you know, somebody bigger, you know, Adrian in the championship game. We beat him to get there. It was definitely sweet. But to beat Sioux College from across the river, Canada, U.S., it was definitely a lot of fun. So I wouldn't mind doing it again.
No, I know, watching, especially like the Olympics, you know, the IHF Women's World Championships, USA Canada games, they are absolutely where it's at. So I can only imagine two cities with the same name facing off against each other has to be kind of a next level scenario.
Yeah, it gets pretty wild, even because they have a men's and women's program as well. So we get kids that we pick out of the same, you know, kettle here a lot of times, and kids are choosing. It's getting pretty cool. It's getting pretty rowdy for ACHA hockey and our coverage in our area, with our schools having teams and playing each other big games. It's a lot of fun. I don't think you don't generally see that in ACHA hockey. You really don't get an opportunity to see it in women's hockey, where you can have two competitive university teams across the river and just get to hash it out all season. I mean, I'm looking forward to next season. I know Sioux College is going to be hungry. I know they've picked up some solid players. So be able to go that rival, you can best in Canada, man. It's the best.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
now, walk us through like a typical season. I know a lot of our listeners probably aren't very familiar with at least the ACHA side of things. So what does the season kind of look like for you and your team?
Typical season, we're looking at 24 to 28 games, somewhere right in there. Depends on playoff stuff like that. I'm a full-time employee. You don't find a whole lot of that in ACHA or D3. Some of the big ACHA D3 schools, you have full-time employees. A lot of the ACHA D1s, you have full-time employees. One of the main between us and our regular season, where, like I said, 24, 28 games, we're traveling. We get the beauty of being a small school like Lake State, but we still get to play all the Big Ten schools, basically. So every team in the Great Lakes region that you can pretty much think of that has a women's team, Notre Dame, Miami of Ohio, Ohio State, Bowling Green, Central, Adrian, Grand Valley, everybody Northern Michigan, everybody in the Great Lakes region that has a women's team will play there. We travel much like an NCAA program. We take a charter bus every weekend. Most of the time, our games are Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and then we bus back home. I'm only 37. We're sleeping in Hampton Inns, and I feed my girls well. I have 2 daughters myself, and I really kind of operate this program as if I hope someday when my daughters, God forbid, choose to move 1,000 miles away from home to play for hockey, that I better like their hockey coach. So I'm a big believer in karma and do my best. So we just operate I would say, a typical season for us is we're not NCAA Division I, but that's our operating standards. We're not that. I'm not scholarships. We're not Liberty, but we very much operate in that frame of mind where these girls understand that this is a smaller community. This is a hockey community. When you get out and you start wearing our gear in town, whether you're at the local grocery store or eating downtown in one of the restaurants that's likely owned by a family friend or somebody I know, the culture that we have around our programs is that very much of a good quality character NCAA program that we can hopefully continue to do. And we do a lot of volunteer. When the girls get here first, right when they get here at the start of school, we do a stand-up and paddle day. It's our River Fest. We just go out and have a big River Fest that Saturday before school starts, and paddleboards, canoe races, stuff like that. Every year that we're around, we do a Canes Classic for like a U6, U8, and the girls go out and ref. It's at one of our old natural flooded rinks indoor here in the Sioux, and the girls do that. So it's a pretty typical season. The girls got to maintain a 2.0 GPA. That's obviously ACHA. We bumped that up a little bit to a 2.3. My girls have to do 4 hours a week of study hall their first semester, whether they're a transfer or a freshman. If they get their GPA above a 2.5, they get out of study hall. So, we're not, unfortunately, in today's day and age, the likelihood of women playing professional hockey after college is just, the statistics are not great. It's unfortunate reality right now. So do our best to make sure and understand that, you're going to college, you're getting a privilege to play hockey. So, you gotta stay eligible. You gotta graduate. So
putting the student before the athlete, basically. I watched your guys' first episode of your trip down to nationals. I thought that was really, really freaking awesome. We shared it on our podcast Twitter. That was really cool. You guys were able to do that. Like, I'm excited to watch the rest of the series, just to check that out. What brought that on? Who came up with the idea, and then who basically ran it and just did all the work, because it was top notch. You would think it was from an actual NCAA program that did it. It was that good.
Oh, I love it, man. I appreciate that. I'm really happy to hear you say that. It's always cool to people that you've never met to get their outside view of that. I love it, man. So I appreciate that. The idea was me. I've always wanted to be able to give people a couple different varying reasons. It's a recruiting tool. If you have an 18-year-old daughter and you live on the East Coast, you get to see, obviously there's heavy editing in those things. I let those guys go everywhere. They're a phenomenal group of media guys that we have, and very much understand the life of a locker room and the life of a bus and stuff like that. So obviously a lot of heavy editing goes into it. But recruiting was one thing. I wanted parents, players, families, people to be able to just get a little bit of an insight as to, what it's like, and know that what we're trying to do is provide a legitimate culture for young women to flourish in sports and to continue to do well in school and do well in hockey, where those opportunities for women just aren't as great as they are for men. And so really I had a phenomenal group of media guys after sitting down with them, them coming into our office and having the understanding that really we were kind of going for that Winter Classic feel. You know what I mean? You watch the 24/7s.
Oh yeah, so great. So
the road
great.
to the Winter Classics are great.
Oh, always fantastic.
I love hearing that. I really appreciate it, because that was one of the biggest things that I wanted, was people to be able to, we can sit here and do these. I can, you guys do it all the time. You can do podcasts, you can do interviews, you can do everything. But to be able to have an unfiltered look into what we do and how I operate and stuff like that. I think it'll hopefully in the end pay dividends. It pays dividends for these girls where they get exposure, where people get to see it and they sit there and go, man, that was great. Like, I loved it. And that's really the goal, just to get you the interest and get these girls having, it's something that I've found that when you can take care of these young women and they know that you truly have their best interests and you can give them the culture. Like I said, we might not be NCAA D1, but that's just a bunch of letters. What you do time in college and on the ice is really what represents who you are. So the letters that you have in front of you are well and good. That's not going to matter to your employer. So when we can get good people like our media guys and they get cameras, and I mean, there's somewhere in those streams where they went out and bought an RC car and hooked a GoPro to the RC car, and they were going through practice and going through warm-ups, and I just love it. Like, you got to enjoy the moment. Life's way too short. I know there's a lot of coaches that are pretty hardcore and they don't want, my media guys are good enough to know there's obviously things that are going to go on in the locker room that don't get said to the public, and that's just the business, and everybody knows that. And these guys are really good at seeing the raw reality of what these girls go through, and these girls really looking at it every day and understanding there's cameras around. You have to be aware of what you say. You have to be aware of how you act and what you do. And it was a lot of fun. The girls loved it. They were one of the big reasons the guys made it to nationals. The guys put in a lot of work over the year on our media stream, hoping that, it got to a point where it was pretty obvious, late in the season, that even if we didn't win playoffs with our at-large bid, we would likely be going. And a lot of the girls were like, Coach, like, we want the media guys to go. And when you get a good group of guys, that a group of girls come to me and say, hey, we'd like them to partake in this, it was a no-brainer. And I'm happy to hear you guys say that, because for me, from an administrative standpoint, it's kind of one of those things where you're like, man, you're bringing these guys, you hope that you hope it gets conveyed the right way. And it worked very closely with me, and they were a phenomenal group of young guys. And I'm glad to hear that, because that was just really people get an inside view. I encourage you to watch all of them, because they're fun. There's some good bloopers in there that I left in there for the most part.
Like I said, I'm really excited to watch it. I like how at the end of like episode 1, like you kind of like have that drone shot going from under the actual like outdoor rink to the top of it. Unfortunately, it's the Blues, but I mean, you really can't pick your venue. But
you have no choice in that. It's fine. We'll forgive you.
but just the fact that you get like that drone shot, and that you get all the girls' reaction to seeing the arch, because no one's really, because it's not a lot of people get to see it. And I was like, there was one part, I think one of the girls was like, oh, I forgot my gum. And like, she has to take her gum out and gives it one to the media guys and has to walk into the trash. She's like, seriously? It's just so great. Just an emotion of like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. No, it was so great. Yeah. If anyone hasn't yet, we'll go back and we'll drop it in the show notes for everyone to go see it. So if you haven't yet, go to the show notes, click that link, watch the entire series. It is phenomenal. But Matt, like, so you do like through all the videos and all that stuff. Like, what was it like going to nationals, going through the whole process, and then it's game day, it's the finals. Like, what do you say to the team? How do you get the mood to just do your job and everything will work out? Like, what was that day like for the championship? Because that's huge. Even doesn't matter, like you said, what division it is. You're going for a title. You're taking some hardware home. Like what's the vibes that day?
We tried to stay pretty steady all season. We had a rough start to our season with losing a player to a car accident. So we were really kind of on a mission from day one. It was something that I set a verbal goal to very early on. I believe that if you're going to achieve these goals, you need to speak these goals. And I spoke very frequently to our girls, that we're going to be one of the best teams in the league. I want to win the championship. I want to go to nationals. This is what we want to do. This is our goals after everything that we lived through last year. And playing in the championship was pretty steady. It was pretty same for us, really business as usual. And going in there, looking at those group of girls and sitting in that locker room before the championship game in the league, and you've already accomplished so much from where we went from 0 wins in a program starting in COVID to, at the time we were in playoffs, I think 24 or 25 wins. And that in itself is just a successful season. And, I looked at those girls and said, you'll regret anything you don't do. It's so simple to say that, I'm not going to regret it. I will give you the best tools that I can give you for you to go out there and put that effort in. But, any shift you take off, I know it's a simple thing, but any shift you take off, those are the little things you regret in your life. That's how you don't win championships. And, I just told those girls, you got to bear down. This is it. You may never get back here again. So enjoy the moment that we're living in right now and go all out. And that's all you can do. That's all you can do for yourself, for me. And those girls bit their bottom lips and they went out there, and it was pretty gnarly. I mean, it's one of those games where as a coach, you kind of want to go out there and take a 6-1 win and sit back and be like, all right, let me enjoy this one. Yeah. But, 2-1 win and, to score with, only a handful of minutes left in the third period, and that group of girls, it was stars aligned.
No, that's really awesome. So you travel for a lot of games and stuff like that. What would you say is probably the one you circle the most on your schedule? And it's like, is there something in that particular city, like it's a must go to? Like, is it like for attractions or is it food? Like, what is that play? Like, what city and like that team and like what place is like, no matter when we have to go here?
Adrian. I hate it and I love it. It's one of those places, like I got friends which there, and it's one of those rings where I've never been to Adrian. There's a bar right above the benches, and the windows open up. So as an opposing team coming into Adrian, it gets pretty gnarly, and it's fun. I mean, it's one of the more fun environments. I mean, the Great Lakes region has some good old barns, and there's some good places. When you get to go to some of the big venues, playing in Notre Dame's always awesome. It's Notre Dame. Notre Dame's.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You know what I mean? Rinks where it's like Notre Dame. This is cool. And then playing at, rinks like BG, Michigan State, Northern. We get to play in some pretty cool rinks. But I would say out of all of them, even if there's only 100 people at a game at Adrian, there's usually a good portion in the bars, and it gets rowdy. And we've just pretty right off the bat have developed a really good rivalry with Adrian. Like, good with the coaches. All the coaches on Adrian are great people, both men's and women's programs. And then we've just had absolute battles. I mean, and it's been so much fun to play Adrian, where even, Northern, we've gone back and forth with Northern and some of the other closer schools, but, you get even Sioux College, that's just a different feel where you're, right across the border from each other. But Adrian would probably be the one. And their foods, I mean, Adrian's an old town. They got some good Italian in there. It's always girls, but Adrian's just a fun place. It's a cool little drive for us through kind of backcountry Michigan, and it's a fun place, and one that is, you go in there and you win and you sweep. It's just even better. Like, you go to Notre Dame and you sweep in Notre Dame. It's like, all right, Notre Dame, the rink's cool, but you know what I mean? You go to Adrian, it's just places where if you can walk out and get 2 wins out of Arrington, it's one of those buildings, and it's awesome.
No, that's really cool. So I know you said you were a former goalie and you were a goalie coach and stuff like that. We're very pro goalie here on the podcast. We love all of our goalies.
If you can see my Corey Crawford jersey in the background, we are very pro Tendy here on this podcast.
Very, very pro Tendy. So I'm curious, have you carried any of your, like, because everyone knows goalies are weird. Have you ever taken any of your traditions as a goalie and put it as your like daily ritual as a coach? Or are you kind of like, nah, I'm not one of those type of goalies. Like, I'm pretty chill. Like, or are you one of those guys that's like, I got to do this in a certain order to do this?
Yeah, it's a great one. I did take 2 things with me, but I think it's just bad habits. I stepped on the lines as a goalie. Like in between periods, anything like that, I never stepped on the lines. The goal line, lines, never stepped on them. That one has subconsciously carried over with me. I don't step on any. Walking as a coach, depending on what rink I'm at, if I got to walk across or if I could just jump on. But I don't step on any of the lines, which is made for a couple good times where I've almost ended up on my rear end. And then I'm the last one off the ice. I was the last one off the ice as a goalie, and I'm the last one off the ice as a coach. And it's just something, it's your sanctuary out there, that rink, and I just kind of like closing the doors and being the last one off the ice, regardless, win or lose. And that's just a couple that I've carried with me. Nothing team wise. You get into the mix with girls, and I let those girls do their thing when it comes to that kind of stuff. But
no, for sure. So what were you rocking back in the day then? Like, were you rocking Coho? Were you rocking CCM? Like what's the gear you're rocking with?
I was born, man. My very first set of true custom pads, because of course I grew up with a divorced family, so I did, I got thrown into the net and it just took off from there. But I started with, like the city league equipment, got to a point where Bantams, I got my first set of customs, and Ryan Miller was a big influence in our area. And he rocked those Vaughn icebergs, the OG Vaughn icebergs. And
those are so beautiful. Those were just chef's kiss. Very nice.
And I got it tattooed on me, and I've been a Vaughn guy forever, and I still have Vaughns, and I've just always glove, blocker, chesty, pants, cup.
No, I tell you, looking back now, like where we're at now in terms of equipment and stuff, you miss a lot of the old school stuff. Like I said, Cohos, you said Vaughn. There's like so many things. It's like, man, I kind of wish those OGs kind of came back, because, man, some of those stuff were pretty clean back in the day. So it's totally different now with like the CCM, Bauer, Warrior, and Nike. It's like, nah, man, give me the old school stuff. Those were
give me a set of Brian's pads and I'm happy. Like I'm good with anybody who rocks a set of Brian's pads. Robin Leonard does. Like his custom Brian setups are amazing.
Oh, phenomenal.
Some of these guys that come in and girls that buy this. I had a girl that got a brand new set of Vaughns when she was here, and I was like, I don't even know if I could wear these. I'm like, these look so nice, but I don't know if my legs would function in these. Like, I don't know if my hips couldn't handle that.
Yeah, just a little bit wider, a little bit taller. It's just like, you make sure you're not trying to pull trying to pull a muscle or something. You're out, put yourself on the IL for a few days. Yeah. It's like, not today, man. But no, that's gotta love the old school stuff. It's so great.
Gear every once in a while when I can kind of feel the girls kind of in one. We like to say hashtag in one to my girls. When I look at them, I will every once in a while I'll randomly just kind of say screw it for practice, and I'll throw on my goalie gear. And the way that our rink's set up, of course, obviously I can't get dressed in the locker room. My girls, so their locker room that we have on campus for them is in the back of the rink, and we have a coach's locker room that's kind of midway of the rink. So I generally let them get on the ice first, and every once in a while throughout the year when I can feel it, I throw on the pads and get a good howl out of the ladies and let them fire some pucks on me.
Oh, that's so
I'm sure they love that. That sounds phenomenal.
So what would you say, like, I know you love your entire team and stuff like that, but what would be any returning players that, for us and for the Wohawks and just everyone who loves college hockey in general, college women's hockey, who would you say is probably like the 3, 4, 5 players, however many you want to name, that is like, you got to keep an eye on these girls for the upcoming season?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. You're gonna Sophie Dramko led the country in goals last year.
We're here for it. We're here for that.
We love it.
Yeah,
love it.
She put up 33 goals in 4 games, so she country in goals. Megan Gary was, I think, 3rd in the country in points. She was another one of our forwards. We had the top 2 defensemen in the country Heather Lamb and Aaliyah Adams. They were both back to back with points. They led the country statistically in D, and they were our number one pair.
Jeez, talk about shutdown. Good grief. And firepower. My word.
These girls, sometimes I get caught in it myself. The accomplishment that these girls did, because you never, you don't push the individual accomplishments, as we all know. That's not what wins when you need it to. But I think you still have to be able to give these young women credit in what they've done. And, we went back towards the end of the year, and, Sophie Jaremko as a freshman, nobody sniffed her out. I'll say Scotty Hicks at Indiana Tech. He's a good buddy of mine, and I know Scotty was he was going for that as well. So it was pretty fun to nab one from Scotty, because he's just a phenomenal coach. And Sophie came in as a freshman and leads the country in goals. Megan is she's a junior double major, really good GP, and is top 5 in the country in assists.
Wow.
And then, Aaliyah Adams, another freshman, she was playing for the Kalkaska K-Stars, good program here in Michigan. True freshman, and she's second in points. And Heather Lamb, I've had Heather Lamb on my radar for a long time. When I was coaching boys U18 hockey, her and her twin sister, who will be joining us next year, they beat us in overtime to win a district championship. And kind of ever that day, I was
boys U18
yeah,
league?
Boy,
love it.
Because
love it.
Her sister, we don't have girls hockey. Like, we're the only legitimate team in our area, which for being hockey town and
that's
all
crazy.
We've never had it. We've never had good, legitimate women's hockey up here. So to be able to be doing that has definitely been a bonus, and having those girls succeed at what they're doing. And Heather and her sister were playing U18, and they scored that goal on us, and I just knew there was something about that girl. And I got this job. Things weren't going great for her at St. Norbert, and it was COVID. I think I feel bad for a lot of teams, because a lot of teams probably had great rosters put together, and COVID.
Yeah. What more can you say other than just COVID? I mean,
so Heather and her sister moved home, and I found out that they left St. Norbert's, and that was obviously my first phone call with Heather was, they go, "You owe me one." So I was like, "You need to," so like, now you're like, "Okay, we're good. Like, now you come play for me and we'll figure this out." And it's funny, because she scored the first goal against Sioux College. Like 17 seconds in, she picked the puck up and she went down and she buried the first goal for the playoff championship. And she looked at me, she's like, "We good, coach?" And I'm like, "No, I need one."
Yeah, give me a championship, we'll be fine. Basically.
So those are a group of girls, but I'm pretty excited about what we have coming in and what we're growing at Lake State, where we're hopefully going to be a program that I believe will beat teams in our depth, where our fourth lines are going to beat a lot of fourth lines. That's hopefully going to be my goal in the next year or two, that we're going to have, on top of having some of the best goal scorers in the country, that we're going to have one of the best fourth lines. I think the fourth line you can either have a really bad fourth line and legitimize rolling 3, or you can win games with a really good fourth line. I think you can look at NHL playoffs now in college hockey, and when you hear a commentator say, that fourth line really did it for him tonight, it's hopefully with the depth of the program that we're going to have coming in, that we're going to have one of the best fourth lines in the country.
So basically, what you're saying is you have superior hockey at Lake Superior, right?
See what you did there.
I had to. I'm sorry, I had to. It's like
Zach is pretty good on the puns. He's pretty good on the puns. So
I'm pretty fantastic, I should say. So I mean, no, but no, if you can have really good depth scoring, you can pretty much hang with anyone. It's like what Herbert Brooks said. What the legs feed the wolves. So basically, it's just, you have the depth and you have, the good chemistry and just everything works right. You can pretty much just take on anyone and have no problems. Like you said, you're going and beating Notre Dame, you're beating Adrian, you're beating BG, Michigan State, all these other programs going to nationals, like, yeah, after something like that, like you got to just enjoy it and love the fact that it's like, all right, we can hang with anyone. Now they can hang with us, basically, is the mindset almost, right? You would have to think that. It's like who can hang with us?
Yep, absolutely. And it's a scary place to be.
Yeah. You're the hunted, not the huntees.
A lot of people think it's great, and you go through, that was, one of our things that we talked about all year is, well, this is our own road. We're paving our road. Construction is dirty. It's hard. There's bad days. There's days you don't want to do it. But you have to focus on our road, set your curbs, know your parameters, know what you want to do, and then lay the bricks every weekend. And like I told the girls, every team we drove through and every team we beat was another brick that we laid in the road. And you have control of how those bricks are laid. You can have good wins, you can have bad wins, you can have good losses, bad losses, you can have a win with bad effort. So it really depends how strong is that brick that you laid. And when you can lay a good quality brick, I know that sounds goofy, but you can put all the pieces together where you've gotten a win, the effort there, the bounces were there, and that's a good solid brick. And even in a time of loss, if it's a good loss, that's still a strong brick that continues to lay there for your foundation of your road. So your road's fine. That brick might not be the one you wanted, but it's still a good solid brick. And that's really something we drove home, where the simplicity of that, of legitimately just going out and putting in a good effort, generally pays off. Generally you get the bounces, and when you beat people to the puck and you control the puck, and that usually leads to good chances and good bounces. And that was really just every weekend was laying a brick. And the road to St. Louis, that was our mantra all year, the road to St. Louis. And I really wanted to get this group of girls to experience something like that, because it's an unforgettable experience. No matter which way it goes, it's an unforgettable experience. So to really, hey, one step at a time, every weekend's a new brick. And once we've paved all our bricks in, Flint, then we can celebrate. And it was a good time.
It sounds like you're not only laying a foundation for success in hockey, but really, honestly, a foundation for success in life with your team.
Yeah, that's, I mean, you hit it on the head there. It's my most important thing. One of the things I tell all my girls is, your hardest day at Lake State will be your last day. Your hardest day will be the day you graduate, because you'll be so in love with the hockey and the process and the way that everything went, that your hardest day on campus will be the day you leave. I'll be there to give you a high five and a hug, and that'll be it. Because, girls hockey, I really focus on, life's hopefully this big. The hockey that you get to play in college is this big, so you need to enjoy it. You need to enjoy every moment of it. And you just generally, you got to be a good person.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Be a good person. And I think when you play that game that way and you live your life in that fashion, that good things happen to you. So I do my best to convey that to my girls, that, if you can just genuinely be a good person and put an effort in the classroom and put an effort in on the ice, good things will happen. It might not be tomorrow, next week, a month from now, but good things in the rink will happen. Good things off the ice will happen, and you'll get those bounces. And, fortunately for a lot of the year, that's how those girls played, and we got those bounces.
Yeah. I mean, hockey, the beautiful game of hockey can sometimes come down to a singular lucky bounce. Like, that just really is this sport. That's just how it is.
No, but no, we really appreciate the fact that, because it's funny, talking to you today, because we put that post out, hey, if there's coaches or players want to reach out to us, because that's what we really love about the podcast, is we're not just pro hockey. We're we decided let's do college hockey as well. Let's talk about it, because it's very not talked about, and you don't really see podcasts for it. And we're let's build this thing. Let's see where we can go with it. And that's why we put that post hey, if you're interested, jump on. We'd love to talk to you. And it's cool that you were one of the early ones that were I want to come on and talk hockey. So I
appreciate it. I appreciate what you guys do. The grassroots stuff for people like me, being born and raised in a small town, located in the middle of nowhere, really. And to be able to just get the word out, selfishly, as a father of daughters, I hope that the game grows to a point that when my daughters hit the opportunity that they can go and play college hockey, they have far more opportunities, they have far more options. And then after the life of college hockey, there's better opportunities and better options for them to continue to play hockey like there's the boys. And getting the word out about Lake State, it's a beautiful school, located in a place that's just kind of a hidden gem. And growing up here and really just kind of being what hockey is and being able to get that word out and people understand that, life's a little different up here in Lake State. We're hopefully growing some good women's hockey up here and expanding the game. So I get excited anytime that anybody wants to hear me ramble for a period of time and talk nonsense. I enjoy it. I've been living my life coaching hockey and talking. So I appreciate what you guys do because it helps out a lot.
No, for sure. So Beth, basically what Matt is saying, we have to make a road trip to the Sioux to see the Lakers in person, basically, and check out, the Sioux, because why not, right?
I do make often trips to Michigan. My grandma lives in Petoskey, so I'm often in northern Michigan.
My parents are in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin now, so it's not that far. I can easily make that, that hop and a skip over to the Sioux and go check that out. And you talk about the area and stuff like that, Matt. So we put another post out, not a lot of traction, but we're looking for, it could be both of us picking the same team or picking different teams, but we are looking for us to have our own women's college hockey team to pick, to root for next season and in the future. So I know you have your own set of recruiting for players, but how would you recruit us to be Lakers fans of Lake State?
Oh man, I think it's we are blue collar. We are everything. We're the epitome of that. The demographic of kids that we get are that middle America, middle Canadian families that are just good lunch pail kids. It's a good story to get behind. Everybody loves a good story, right? And a team coming from the ashes of nothing, it literally just poof in the middle of COVID, to exist and go from a no-win team to one of the best teams in the country. Either it's going to be a really good showing, or you're going to want to watch it burn. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where we're right there where it's either going to be remarkable and you're going to sit there and go, wow, I can't believe what Lake State's done in year 4. We're winning a national championship, or the wheels are going to fall off the bus and it'll be a hell of a thing to watch on the way down.
So either way, there's going to be a great story. Regardless of what happens, there's going to be a phenomenal story.
There will be entertainment. There will be more YouTube. There will be more behind the scenes. There'll be a lot of good fun. Our guys, if you ever see a game, those guys that did our YouTube, our behind the scenes and everything like that, do our games, our game commentary. And if you want to see some good quality gold, go back 2 years and watch those guys from some of the first games where you throw 2 college kids up there and you pray for the best. And then, you get a random text message like, hey, did you watch that live? Like, no. And you go back and you watch it. I was
kind of coaching. I was a little busy.
So you go back and you get home and you watch that live and you look at these and you're like, holy boys, like, got to soften up a little bit. So it's been fun to watch the progression of them. So even a fan on the outside, our games are generally pretty good, not even on the ice, but just the audio visual. Our guys are great. There's usually interviews. They randomly go in the stands and ask, Jody standing at the concessions getting popcorn, what's her favorite dog treat?
Oh my gosh.
Now, are these available? Do they live stream them on YouTube or?
We have a whole YouTube channel, LSSU Club Sports, and we post everything. All our games are posted. There's a couple of videos from, we took it when we took a trip to Bowling Green. It was one of our longest trips. So I brought the guys with us when we took an early trip down to Bowling Green at the beginning of the year, and they did a little docu-series, a little, 10, 18-minute long video. So yeah, we got all those videos on our YouTube channel.
Perfect. Well, I guess I know I'm going to be watching some hockey later. Now, where can our listeners find your program and also you on the internet?
So all our social media sites are active. Our Facebook, LSSU Club Sports, Lake State ACHA Hockey. We're in the process right now of relaunching our website to kind of a little catchier website, some good eye candy with a new program that the ACHA is working with. And then just, Twitter, our LSSU women's hockey Twitter, our YouTube, and then my information's all over Lake State, lssu.edu, a lot of those places, and you can find all the information in regards to anything more about our programs.
Perfect. And do you guys have like merch or anything like that we can maybe look into getting? I mean, I've been staring at that hoodie like the entire time we've been talking.
Same here. Yeah, it's like that's pretty fresh. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, this is it's nice with our colors on black. Everybody goes with black, but I think our Laker colors really pop on black. But yeah, Squad Locker. If you know how to use Squad Locker, you go to squadlocker.com. Go to the search bar, search in Lake Superior State University women's hockey. We get 10% of the proceeds that help our women's program, which everybody knows in the world. Today's day and age, that is a difficult thing to do.
Yes.
So any of that merch that you purchase on Squad Locker, we greatly appreciate it, and it goes to help fund our women's and men's programs.
Perfect. Well, we will definitely be on the lookout for some merch. As you can tell, Zach and I kind of love hockey merch just a little bit. So definitely going to be heading over to Squad Locker. Is there anything you want to put out on the world? Maybe there's a potential recruit listening to this podcast right now. What would you want to tell them about Lake Superior State?
Give me a call. Once you can get it's always the first step, right? Just pick up the phone, give me a call.
Yeah.
Or shoot text. In today's generation, they like to text message way more. But you get to, we're a different place. It's a comforting thing as an 18-year-old freshman. We're not Michigan State. We're not U of M, Arizona State, Adrian. You're not walking onto a campus that's got 35 to 8,000 people on it. On top of just the mental anxiety and everything of moving away, your first time home, understanding how to be a college hockey athlete, understanding how to be a student athlete, super overwhelming. The beauty of Lake State, you really don't have that. We got about 1,700 people on campus. And they take care of our girls pretty well. One of my best friends is the head of public safety. And it's a different feel. If it's somewhere where you're really interested in getting a different way of life, it's a simpler way of life. It's a slower way of life up here. And we really kind of live hockey in the winter. And obviously with our snow and things of that nature and how long our weather is up here, that, when you get up here, you're really truly focused on becoming a student athlete and becoming a good student athlete and becoming a good hockey player. And it's, a good opportunity that you have to finish the last 4 or 5 years of college hockey. And like I tell my girls, every day, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with today? Because once you're done with today, it's over and you're going to give it away. So what are we going to do? And it's a fun place to be. And I think probably the biggest recruiting I've had is people getting here. I had a family come from British Columbia and they spent a day here. And, I generally, the Sioux, the UP, you're going to spend a day here and you're either going to be like, oh, wow, all right, I could do this, or you're gone. You are back across the bridge and you're out, because it's just one of those places that you either really enjoy and love. I get those girls and they get here on campus and they can feel what we're doing. That's a game changer. So going to any college, whether it's Lake State, anything, any recruit, go visit that campus, because if you can see yourself going to that campus and not playing hockey, then you're in the right place.
Perfect. Well, I don't know if there's any better way we could end this with you, Matt. It was an absolute pleasure. We look forward to your upcoming videos on YouTube and watching those games as well.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate what you're doing. It was great to get the chance to chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you and your girls have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, you too.
Bye, Matt. Well, everybody, that was Matt Parker from Lake Superior State, the D2 ACHA women's hockey champions from last year. What a great guy to talk to. That was phenomenal.
That was really fun. Just be able to talk puck and just talk back, former goalie, becoming coach, and then taking a program in their 4th year all the way to the nationals, and just, having
like
YouTube
goosebumps.
Series. Yeah.
Goosebumps.
The fact that you have like a freshman leading the whole nation in goals. Like, imagine when she's a junior pumping like 50
33 goals. 33 goals in a season.
I'm
That's
calling by
insane.
the time she hits her junior season, I'm calling it now 2 years from now, 50. Putting it down right now.
Putting it down. You know what? I'm putting it down PHF.
All right, that works. As long as it's the whale, right?
Oh, I mean, we would prefer the whale. However,
Yes, we are also unbiased, but
we will look. Come play pro hockey.
Yes,
because you're obviously really good at the hockey, so
a little bit, just a little bit.
You should keep doing it.
Speaking of PHF, the frenzy finally started. It took a little bit.
It took a bit, but my goodness gracious, the frenzy started, and it was just like days of like, oh,
unfortunately,
there's more.
Unfortunately, the whale have been very quiet.
So, I don't love it. I don't love it.
Like, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it.
The anxiety that I have that they haven't announced one signing.
Luckily, no one from the team has gone somewhere else. So there's true.
We haven't lost any whale. We still have all of the whale.
So we keep all of them, or you add a little bit. But yeah, so far so good. We have not lost a whale yet.
We have not lost a whale, so that's beautiful. But I'm just like,
also the anxiety of like, can someone sign?
Just somebody sign somebody, please. Sign. Just tell us one person. Please, whale. Like, pretty, please. Bestie, we love you so very much.
Give us Ives. Give us Conway.
Us Kennedy. Give us Abby. Give us Amanda. Give us Shannon. Give us somebody.
Fuji.
Anybody. Please.
At this point. Bring back Anya Packer. Put Anya Packer in a jersey.
Well, I mean, she's gonna have like a whole baby coming up for next season.
Very true. I'm just saying it's so. You know what? 2 seasons from now, you know what? Season 10, bring back Anya Packer for the 10th anniversary season. How about that?
But I mean, like, we had a huge thing happen. Like, we talked about it on the last episode that it was rumored.
Oh yeah.
That Michaela Grant-Mentis was signing with the Buttes for a significant amount of money.
100,000 Canadian, which was like what, 75, 80,000
around 77, 78,000. Well, Michaela Grant-Mentis signed with the Buttes. That happened. She signed an $80,000 contract. $80,000 American. She is officially the highest paid women's hockey player ever.
Reigning. I don't think they have announced the actual MVP for this year yet, because I know that I think the awards are coming up. But the
awards are coming up.
She's a reigning MVP.
Yeah,
second in goals, like second in points, like
just
an absolute beast.
Insane. Just insanity. I mean,
the fact that they took her from the 6 says enough alone. Where the Buttes went from, because I think they finished last in this one off season. Just a couple weeks, just like we're like what, week 2, week 3 into the free agency period, the free agent frenzy as we call it. Put that on a shirt. They have signed so many players.
Yeah.
They even and the fact that they got Michaela Grant-Mentis, or Bucky, as some people know her. They have a reigning MVP on their team now. Yeah. Like, the Buttes are going to be a problem in season 8.
Not only are they like signing these players to these amazing deals, we have Casey Bellamy, which WoHo fans, you should know her name. She has an Olympic gold medal from 2018.
The fact that they have an Olympian.
Yeah. She is the director of scouting and the player relations liaison. Like, we've got Mel Davidson being appointed as the director of league and hockey operations. She coached one of the all-star teams this past year. Like,
the PHF, like, what Reagan Carey's doing right now, it's insane. It's amazing. It's insane what this league is doing. It's so great. And the fact that you're getting like, and you even have you have like people you think are going to be in the PWHPA's league
Yeah.
It's now joining the PHF.
We have a PWHPA player joining the league. Like we have, I mean, for Amanda Pelkey to come over, she is an Olympic gold medalist, and she has signed a deal to join the Ribs. She did previously play in the PHF. She played for the Boston Pride for the first 3 seasons of the league.
Right.
But she was a national team member. We all know most of, if not all of the national team members for Olympic teams have played in the PWHPA. And she was like, I'm coming to the PHF. And she's joining the Ribs. She's going to be playing with our girl, Madison Packer.
Who also got re-signed to a 2-year deal.
2 more years of Madison Packer. Her statement after was absolutely beautiful.
It was. And I also like the fact, too, she's like, it doesn't mean that I'm hanging them up after 2 years. You're like, oh. So what you're saying is...
the same day, they were like, oh, you thought Madison Packer was it? No, fam, we got you. Because Kendall Cornine's back, too.
Yeah. They got Score9 back. They got They got Captain America back. Now we're waiting for Rebecca Russo to probably stay with the Ribs as well. But the fact, too, that even Madison Packer left the door open, like, I'm not hanging him up after 2 years. It's just a 2-year contract. So what you're saying, Madison, is the will might be in play in 2 seasons. So you're saying there's still a chance.
Well, I don't think that that's going to happen. So
probably not. But you know what? Though?
She said in the announcement that
it's
her
Ribs for
heart
life.
says the logo on her chest is Steel Rosie. And you know what? I support it, especially
we're here for it.
When she comes out, she tweeted when her signing was announced, 2 more, becoming a franchise player with the Riveters has been a dream come true. Excited to keep setting records on the ice and breaking barriers off of it. As long as I am a Riveter, we will be a safe and inclusive space for all. And I look forward to welcoming our fans this season. Like
we're here for it. Like we would love to see her in the Whale, but we're here for it as a lifer for the Ribs. But I mean,
it's true. And I mean, you've got Elaine Tooley re-signing. You've got Madison Packer, Kendall Cornine, Michaela Grant-Mentis signing was announced. You've got Jess Healy coming over from playing overseas.
That's huge. I'm waiting for the Carly Jackson. Is she staying in Buffalo or is she going somewhere else? Because we need to know what Tough Mustard, aka CJ, aka
where our girl is.
The fantastic mullet is like where what are we doing here?
That mullet is next level.
Yeah, it's the tough mustard mullet is just peak amazing.
Beautiful. It is beautiful.
Plus the spins. We're here for the spins.
Yeah, we love a goalie spin. Love it.
I mean, I love our oil, but I'm not gonna lie though. You have to if you're talking about a jersey collection, if the Buttes ever decide to sell their like those really nice alternates they had for the outdoor game, oh my goodness. I know you love. I know we're both whale.
Look, I'm a jersey fan. Okay, I love a good sweater. That closet back here has. There's a CBJ jersey in there for crying out loud. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like you have to get a CJ.
Yeah.
Buttes alternate jersey because I think it's so clean.
I really feel like one of these days we need to have like a Beth pulls out all of her hockey jerseys episode where I just open the closet and I'm like, look, everyone, jerseys.
Jacksonville Iceman, random Blackhawks. Whale.
I've got obviously my Whale, my Blackhawks, my Iceman. There's a Houston Aeros jersey in there. There's a Minnesota Moose jersey in there.
Wow. There's Paul Kariya.
There's a Paul Kariya Mighty Ducks of Anaheim jersey in there. It's my pride and joy. Somebody asked me if I was going to sell it once. I was like, over my dead body.
Did you say it was also game use as well?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Game use Paul Kariya. And it's the eggplant road jerseys. Not a chance.
Yeah.
On this green
never
earth.
Gonna happen.
Never gonna let you down.
Yeah, I would sell that and be like, just kidding. It's mine. And it was like a random dude it was like a random dude on Twitter. It wasn't even like somebody that I know. It was just some like rando. And I was like, no, sir, I'm not selling.
Even me or Courtney asked, you'd be like, I love you guys, but
I love you, but no. I mean, I've got Obviously I grew up in, we talked to announcer dad, we lived in Hampton Roads. So there's a bunch of Hampton Roads and Norfolk Admirals jerseys in there. There's a Russian jersey in there.
I'm surprised. I'm waiting for you to get Rockford Piggies jersey just because at this point.
One of these days I will have a Piggies jersey. I mean,
the question is it the normal homes, or are you talking like those steel grays with like the barbecue type logo on the front?
I honestly don't know.
I think we need to bring someone on the podcast that might help you with your decision. There's one person that we have to bring up and be like, hey, do you want to make
one of those, like, a jersey has to speak to me.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like,
no, believe me, it makes sense. That's why I made a Conway with my first whale jersey.
Like this Iceman jersey right here, this one down here.
It's Publix. I mean, you have to.
Number one, it's a pub sub. It's chicken tender pub sub.
Yeah.
But I was shown that jersey design before it was even like announced by a member of the front office. He was like, "You can't tell anybody I'm showing you this." And he showed it to me and I was like, "Oh my God, I love it so much." Like, everybody was like, "These are awful. They're hideous." I'm like, but they're not. They're beautiful. Like, the socks have like the same design on them. The socks have like subs on them.
Yeah. Like the ECHL thrive on specific,
there's another Publix jersey right there, but it's like an apron.
Yeah, I see.
And that's a Trevor Hamilton jersey. It's got the A on it, but guys who didn't have the letter, it said like, "Hello, my name is," and it had like a little name tag on them.
That's so great.
Just like the beautiful minor league hockey game. It's just next level.
There's some bad ones, but there's teams that know how to do it right. You can have really some great themed minor league jerseys.
I'm pretty sure all of hockey Twitter saw the Jacksonville Iceman Thanos gloves from last season, not this past season, but the one before that.
Yeah.
I mean, the auction for those went ridiculously high, and we were all like, we love that people are finding out about these, but like, we kind of wanted to buy them and now we can't because they're like real expensive.
Yeah. When you get Marvel fans seeing something like that, you're kind of SOL at that point.
Yeah. I just wanted Thanos gloves. Like,
okay, there's one thing I have to ask. I know Hawks are gonna ask me, like, are gonna probably ask themselves, why is there's this one thing in your video on your screen? This thing? Yes. For those who don't know,
if you're not watching on YouTube, you're probably very confused right now.
Yeah, that means go to the YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell. We've said that multiple times. Because if you want the giveaway, subscribe to the YouTube.
We have 16 YouTube subscribers now, by the way. We got one more.
Oh yeah. It always took us like 3 weeks just to get the one extra one. At this pace, it'll be ready by the Stanley Cup final. So anywho.
You're asking about this right here.
Yeah, find a way and go Avs go.
Find a way and hashtag go Avs go. So obviously,
for those who don't know, care to explain?
Yeah, well, obviously the Blackhawks didn't make the playoffs.
Not by
not even by like they didn't just like miss it at the last game. They were like there's 15 games left in the season and they were out of the playoffs. So
there's not even an AHL 22 sim that had a shot of the Blackhawks making it. Like,
so we did a belly up hockey roundtable back in January.
It's been that long already. Wow.
I know it was.
Are you sure? I thought it was like.
I'm pretty sure it was January. I don't know. It could have been a different. I don't know. Like, what is time? What is time?
It's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. It's just a ball of stuff.
Yes. Like,
for those who don't know, watch Doctor Who.
Yeah, Blackhawks hockey.
Does
caused me a lot of torture and torment and pain this last 12 months with everything going on.
I'm so glad I have another team to watch oh man,
I love hockey. Like, I've always loved hockey. I tell people all the time, hockey was my first love. It still is my first love. I love hockey. A lot of times hockey doesn't love me back.
You love hockey? No, you don't. What are you talking about? No.
Anyway,
I don't believe it. I call shenanigans.
So around December, January, I just started watching other games because watching the Blackhawks hurt my soul. Still watch the Blackhawks, but it hurt my soul.
You watch it as background noise, basically, while you're like
Yeah.
scrolling hockey Twitter, going, "What's going on in the hockey Twitter?"
Cry. Okay, cool. So back in that belly up roundtable, we were asked who we thought had it, and my answer was the Avalanche. I have just had this like feeling, very similar to my 2013 Hawks feeling. Like that season, you just felt it.
Yeah. Well, also
you felt it. Plus, we've got our Twitter friends.
The admin team for the Avs are just
they're next level. Like, let's be honest.
They're the Western Conference of the Canes of hockey Twitter, basically.
And I said then that I thought the Avs were going to go all the way. We were asked who were going to win it, and I said it. I put it out there. Everybody was like, pfft, and I was like, watch, just watch. I have a feeling. And then, I mean, we met our wonderful Avalanche family on Twitter. We have a group chat with a bunch of Avs fans and me and Zach, basically.
Yes,
it's a bunch of Avs fans and then Zach and I.
Also Bailey, another friend of the,
yes, but she's also an Avalanche fan, so
she's a Hurricanes fan first. But
she's also an Avalanche fan, just like Lisa's a Capalanche. She's a Capitals and an Avalanche fan.
Very true, but still, though, there is context. You gotta give Bailey some credit. She is Hurricanes first because she is from North Carolina.
Whatever.
Who goes to college in Colorado? So context.
Whatever. But
yeah, you're not really an Avs fan. You're just there.
I hitched my wagon to the Avalanche bandwagon. Find a way is their playoff hashtag on Twitter. And obviously go is their standard Twitter hashtag. Plus, I have my pom-poms. They do pom-poms for the playoffs. And you can order them on the internet for a whole $10. So I got pom-poms. ASMR for all of our audio listeners.
Oh gosh, absolutely, absolutely not. That was not soothing whatsoever. It sounded like someone was just rubbing something over the microphone. No, absolutely not. I tried.
I'm not good. Like, should I get up here and whisper? Welcome to Let's Talk Milwaukee ASMR.
That's a little bit better, but I'm just thrown. I am shooketh.
So, but I had to look out for our friends because I mean they're all friends of the podcast, and
I'm just there so I don't get fined. Plus they're like,
you don't get fined.
Yeah, they're like, bring Zach into the group chat. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I was there just to support Kyle.
Then Zach just talks nothing but Canes hockey all the time.
They keep asking me about it. What am I supposed to do? Say no? But I told our friend Kyle I will just talk just Avs when we're on the space.
This is an Avalanche space, sir. But
not my fault when I get asked questions.
Wagon to the Colorado bandwagon. It is what it is.
Just for the playoffs?
At least I'm keeping the love. Yeah, just for the playoffs. At least I'm keeping the love in the Central Division.
Right.
Because honestly, screw the Blues.
Minnesota.
Tame the Wild.
Yeah.
Ew, Trashville.
Shoot down the Jets.
So the Jets. I mean,
now here's a question: Are we ever going to see an Avalanche jersey in the collection?
Probably.
The
third jersey, the third from this year, the blue one with the triangle.
Yeah,
that sweater is fresh.
It's fresh. It's really nice, but
it's so good.
Will they be your second team though? That's the real question. Is that the thing? Will they be your second team?
I don't know.
Honestly, I could. I'm
trying to just go with the flow. Let it happen.
The way the group chat's been, just how you've talked about the Avs, I can see it. I see
my hockey heart.
I think for the fact that the Avs have done that, plus you love their Twitter team, I think the Avs are your second team.
Who
calling
doesn't?
it now. I'm calling
Who
it now.
Doesn't?
I love it, but I already got my teams.
I mean, I do have real estate, so
Beth, just accept. All right, we're doing an intervention right now. Just accept it. Accept it. The Avs are your second team. Let's just put it out there now. Let's
Can
just
I just call them my mistress? It feels more
you're,
fun.
you're calling me basically the Avs are your side piece, basically.
Yeah, the Avs are my side piece.
Oh man, that's just that. I mean, that's one way to put it.
I'm in an open relationship with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh man, I mean, sure, we can go with that if you really want to, but let's be honest. The Avs are your second team. Let's just put it out there. It is. Let's just say it is. Like, okay. Why delay the inevitable?
I mean, look, I can't help that.
No one's saying there's nothing wrong with that.
They made me love hockey again.
No one's saying
because the Blackhawks sure as shit didn't.
Hey, I'm just saying no one's gonna say no. Everyone's gonna understand. That's what I'm saying. Just accept it into your heart and you be like, I know one person who
might say no.
Who? I'm
Announcer
curious.
Dad.
That's why you keep it on the down low.
That's why they're my side piece. That's why I'm not in a committed relationship with the Colorado Avalanche.
Your dad would be like, absolutely not. Same division doesn't work.
No, ma'am. You cannot like another team in the Central Division. I'll be like, but at least it's not Nashville, Dad.
It's Colorado. I mean, is it really that bad? I mean, it's like
no.
See, luckily, it's my teams are not even in the same conference. And I
just don't like any teams in the East. I really don't. I said this in the space the other day. Everybody was like, whoa. I was like, no. See, here's the thing. I just don't like any teams in the East. I like some players in the East.
Turbo. We got Turbo.
I like Turbo. I like Breadman.
You can't bring the cans to your heart. It's just not there.
There's a very specific reason why, and you know what the reason is.
Yes, I know. And believe me, I'm not a fan of it myself, even though everyone thinks that all Hurricanes fans like this guy. That's false. No, a lot of us don't.
See, no. Just
okay. Well, no. Good news. Well, there's good news. He is an RFA, so he might not be back because he probably won't want too much money. So he might not be a Hurricane next year. So
I would prefer that he was not an NHL player next year, but I mean, we all know it's not going to happen because it's Gary Bettman's league. But
welcome to the NHL where you get 20 million chances and you're still a crappy person.
Hello, Evander Kane. I feel like we're going to get a cease and desist just for saying that name. So, but that means he's listening. That means he's listening. But don't listen. If you're listening, please stop.
Just
look, it's fine. No. We'll lose the subscriber. We will lose the download. No, thank you. But we do have at least some exciting Blackhawks news.
Do we?
We do. There was a thing that happened because we stand Dylan Strome.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, that of course.
He is one of our awesome humans who we love, and. We talked about when Wrigley passed away, sadly. They were planning. They were planning on getting a brother for Wrigley, and they decided to go ahead and still get the puppy, and his name is Benny.
Benny and the Jets.
And
sorry, I had
he is actually like Wrigley's half brother. They have the same dog dad.
Aw.
He is precious. Like, please go to Wrigley Strome's Instagram page so you can see this adorable fluffy dog. I mean, I
know Dylan said that they're thinking about keeping that account going just for Benny.
Yes, which it makes my heart happy because I miss Wrigley content. Like, cutest doggo ever.
Yes,
cutest doggo ever. But
we have the DeBrink dogs. We got
the DeBrink dogs. We got Bert and Ralph. Come on, Bert and Ralph. Their names are Bert and Ralph, and they wear plaid shirts. And
my thing is, like, how do you miss Bert and Ernie? Like, how do you not just?
Well, because they had Ralph first,
right? Yeah,
and then they got Bert.
Yeah, you know what? The next dog has to be Ernie. Like, if you're going for Bert, you gotta go all in on the Bert and Ernie.
I don't know, but there is a new beautiful Blackhawks doggo. We love our doggos. I mean, Kelly made an appearance through most of our interview with Matt.
No, it's every episode.
It's true.
We
love dog content. I mean, Ella and Gary were back here at one point, but please go give Benny all of the love on Instagram. We love him. He's super cute and fluffy. So welcome to the Blackhawks fam. Benny, you are so stinking cute. Wrigley, I know you sent Benny to heal your parents' heart. So I'm sure he's going to do a phenomenal job. But that's all the Blackhawks signing news that we have. So
well. There are some world championships going on, which kind of crept up on us. I didn't even know it was actually happening.
I didn't either.
I was all over the World Juniors when it started before it got cut short. Like,
I was not all over the World Juniors. I boycotted the World Juniors because they kept the men's tournament going and not the women's tournament.
Yeah,
and so no, thank you.
Yeah, well, that was when I was actually like out of work for us. So I was basically home a lot, so it was like it was hockey. I had to watch something at that point. So I get it. I would have done the same thing, but it's like it's hockey content.
See, you remember talking to me. I was sitting on my hands, struggling.
I know you wanted to watch the World Juniors.
Like I wanted to watch so bad.
Well, you lived vicariously through my tweets. You've lived vicariously through what I was watching, basically.
I muted anything that had the IHF hashtag on it.
Darn.
Because again, like
I get that. I totally get it. So the Worlds are on, which I forgot. Yes. I didn't even like. It tells you how much of the fact that it's in the middle of the playoffs. Who decided to schedule that?
I don't know. Why do we ask those questions anymore?
Who puts the World Championships in the middle of a first round of the playoffs? Like, what are we doing here? And like, I didn't even like the roster. You look at the rosters, you're like,
when does Miho ever make sense, Zach?
Never. And the thing is, you look at the rosters of all these teams, you're like, there's so many guys that actually would have made these teams if they just waited until the playoffs were over. But no, now we're gonna have like these. I don't want to disrespect the guys that are on the rosters, but it's like these are B teams. Let's be honest.
Seth Jones is the captain of Team USA, guys.
Oh,
Seth Jones.
Oh, I like Seth Jones is a great guy, but bruh.
Seth Jones is the captain of Team USA. Like, we looked at the Team USA and the Team Canada rosters, and we were like, "Cool, we're gonna get annihilated."
We're mostly positive for the most part on this podcast, but we're also going to be honest.
Yeah, we are not.
Oh my gosh,
going to sugarcoat anything. Seth Jones is the captain of Team USA. That's really all we should need to say. Everybody's going to know exactly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's the thing it's like I'm trying. Like I said, we are positive, but we're not going to be all these other like. There's not really
going to blow smoke up your asses. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there are some podcasts. We're not just saying Blackhawks. We're just saying podcasts in general want to pump tires on some guys.
Yeah,
we will pump tires with these players who deserve it. Guys are not doing it. We're like, you've heard our episodes already about the Blackhawks. We're not here for it. Seth Jones.
That's why we call it the pain to the joy of women's hockey. But we got to bring our fans back down to reality somehow. When you want to know how we do that, we talk about the Blackhawks.
The fact that he's the captain of the men's hockey team in the world championships that no one knew was happening. Like there was zero expo. Like no one now. Like the only you knew was probably Twitter because I don't think NHL Network was talking about it.
By the way, like these games are starting when all of these Game 7s are happening. What do you think people are going to watch? The B teams at Worlds or Game 7 Stanley Cup playoff hockey?
In the first round, and this was like the most Game 7s in a round ever. 5 of them. I
thought they were saying there was more in 2018.
No, I saw it. I saw it said it was the most. It was the most Game 7s in one round ever. But my point is like, and even then, like there are some games that are starting in the like mid afternoons, like somewhere in the morning. I'm like,
it's beautiful.
The scheduling is absolutely terrible. Like you don't even know they're even going on until the games have already started.
Yeah,
and you're seeing highlights,
and then you just see like clips on Twitter of Tim Stutzel asking somebody who the F he is.
Yeah, and you're just like, and him and Shabbat are going at it after their game, and I'm like, wait, what? Like Germany and Canada are facing each other. It's like, wait,
I got nothing. So
that's what I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, who scheduled this? Like in the middle of the hot,
the IIHF, they're awful at scheduling things, in case you weren't aware.
Deleting things, starting things, restarting things, scheduling
calling things a men's and women's tournament, because they'll call it the women's world championships, but they won't call it the men's.
It's just the world championships. But it's like, you're like, oh, hey, we need to get exposure to our tournament. What do? Throw it in the middle of the AHL playoffs in the first round. You're like,
and all of the players that people want to watch are playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So
let's watch Seth Jones lead a really watered down USA team with. You look at the roster, you're like, who?
Yeah.
Like there's
at least Adam Gaudette's there.
The hockey god, as they say, but it's like still though, like you look at the rest of the roster, you're like, who in the crap are these guys?
Are these people? But we are slowly running out of time, so we got to go over some sponsors real quick because
sponsors,
we love them. So Shocked Hydrate is awesome. Zach's had it. I've had it. Delicious. If you head over to shockedhydrate.com, put in the promo code WOHOCKEY, you gonna get 10% off your order. And then we've got In the Clutch Apparel. They have officially licensed gear. It is all phenomenal. They've got some beautiful vintage hockey stuff. Same promo code. WOHOCKEY.
Yeah.
10% off. Get your merch.
Like we're talking Colorado Rockies, New England Whale, the
Chicago Cougars,
Cincinnati Mighty Ducks. Like we're talking, like
love it.
Atlanta Thrashers. If that tells you, the Cleveland Barons, if that really tells you anything.
We love it.
Old school.
Love
old
it.
School.
So head on over both those places. They are kind enough to sponsor our show, and they're incredibly awesome with what they do have on both sides of things. Where can the humans find you, Mr. Zach, on the internet?
Before I do that, I have to say, though, the green apple for Shocked Hydrate, really good. I enjoyed that one.
It's just not my thing.
I get that. But honestly, they're both good.
It's not my thing. Oh, and Canadips. How could I forget? Canadips.
Hello.
Canadips. Belly up. 20% off. Canadips.com. It's delicious. 20% off because they love us the most and they're based out of Humboldt. Anyways, Zach, humans, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at the One True Zach. That's ONE True Zach. It's not the Wonders. It's not the Oneaters. Wait, I wonder what happened to CLE Zach. He's now the One True Zach because this is the only Zach you need in your life. That's basically about it. Beth,
I support it. Yes.
What's that?
I said I support it.
I'm glad you support it. I'm probably going to get a lot of other Zachs going, hold up, time out, wait a minute.
Excuse me, sir. Pardon me.
Hold up. You're not even the best Zach Martin, let alone the best Zach Beth.
Oof.
I mean, hey, there's a professional football player that's named Zach Martin, but spell it with a K, not an H, so I'm the best H Martin. Let's be honest. But that's just me. My wife will give me crap about that later. Anywho, Beth, where can people find you?
So this is where we confuse the people because I am at Wonder Beffers and it is not the number one. It is like wonder, like wonderful because I am wonderful.
So like I wonder what happened to the Oneaters?
Exactly. So at Wonder Beffers, you can also find the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Talk Wo Hockey Pod. And please go to YouTube, hit subscribe, click the bell. All notifications on. We have an awesome giveaway, guys. So please follow, like, subscribe, do all the things so we can give you the stuff we want. We just want to give you free stuff, okay?
We're trying to unlock the giveaway. We're not even at the giveaway yet. We're just trying to unlock the giveaway.
We just want to give you free stuff. So
don't you want free stuff? Like,
don't you want our free things? Like it's apparently really not. Awesome.
And you know what? I'll take the free stuff at that point. Then if no one else wants it, I'll take it. Like.
At this point, we might as well just send the free stuff to each other because they ain't gonna unlock the giveaway. So,
I mean, you know what? I mean, suck, I guess. I mean, unless you want it. I mean,
but
hey, we're brutally honest here.
we love you, Hawks. So
yeah, you're great. No, you're all a bunch of beauties.
You are all a bunch of beauties. It has been an absolute pleasure. It was a great episode. I'm so happy we got to talk to Matt about his amazing team and their wonderful championship on this, what I am dubbing the Dominic Kubalik episode of Let's Talk Wo Hockey. So until next time, it's your girl Beth. It's my dude Zach. We will see you later.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this Belly Up Media production. Some said we'd go belly up, so we made it our name. And we're still here. Ha!